Mental Health Awareness Month. Here we are, keeping it rolling. Super grateful to everyone who's been tuning in, everyone who's been coming into the lives, everyone who's been watching the videos afterwards. I'm loving this. I'm so grateful for the topic of mental health. And I think it's crucial that we raise awareness around mental health and eliminate the stigma on all the different mental health issues that can come up. Every single one of us has a mind, and therefore every single one of us needs to cultivate mental wellness. Hey everybody, good to see you guys. Hey Donald and Sarah and Kirsten and Jessica and Hallie, great to see you guys. I can't wait to introduce you to my friend tonight. Her name's Lauren Vanderpool. She's an amazing chef. She totally is tuned in to the mind, body, spirit connection. So she works with people to help them become revitalized and healthy and think clearly through diet and other spiritual practices. So as soon as she comes on, I'll bring her on. Thank you guys for coming on. I hope that you can stick around for a little bit. I also wanted to let you guys know that tomorrow night, I'm going to be joined by Marianne Williamson. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, Marianne Williamson is going to be joining us. Hey Jelena. Hey Maru. Hey Donald. What's up? Loving this. Loving it so much. So the guest tonight, Lauren Vanderpool, I actually met Lauren on one of my retreats to Costa Rica, and we just immediately clicked. You know those people that you just click with, that have that great energy, that know what's up, that tune in, that you have a good vibe? That's her. She's got great energy. You're going to feel it. She's wonderful. She's one of the warmest, kindest, sweetest people I've ever met. And she really, really knows her stuff, I have to say. She's just totally tuned in. What do they say? They say tuned in, tapped on, and turned on. Okay, I got that wrong. But she is really, really on board with the spiritual and metaphysical practice, as well as the real grounded integration of the physical and biological stuff, like really, really clean eating and fitness. Unlocked, that's a good one, Maru. I know there's like some kind of thing that I don't know who said it. It was like popular in the self-help community. It was like tuned in, something and turned on. I don't know. Hey Andre, hey Pam, great to see you guys. So like I was saying, the guest who's coming on, she's traveled the world. She's super tuned into different cultures, and she has a really interesting story about tuning into her own heritage, and how when she tuned into her own heritage, she was raised in the US, but when she tuned into her culture, to her heritage, she started to realize that she is a multicultural being. And we're in a multicultural era. You know, we're all multicultural people, and here she is. She's coming on. The Queen of Green. Okay, so follow her on Instagram, Queen of Green, and she's coming on right now. Hey, Lisa. And Lisa's going to be joining me later this week, I believe on Friday. Hey there, Lori.
Hey! Hey, let me practice that. I am doing so well. Oh my
You're
God,
good?
how are you?
I'm great. I'm loving it. I'm doing well. I'm staying on my beam. You know how it is, you know, if you stay. And so Lauren is joining us from Tulum, right? You're in Tulum?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. So I told everyone a little bit about you and how much I love you and how you connect diet and pranic nourishment in with spiritual practice. And you're an author, so I didn't want to get the name of the book wrong. What's the name of your book?
Well, I have Eat Yourself Sexy, which is the original. I have Eat Yourself Sexy, the Goddess Edition, which is the updated version. And I have the Fresh City Kids Recipe Book, which is a book that I produce with my nonprofit organization with about 180 youth out of the inner city of Washington, D.C. So those are my books. You can find them on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, all that good stuff.
Cool. Okay. I want to just hear a little bit about just introduce yourself and your overall philosophy, how you approach what you do.
Absolutely. Let me turn this fan on. I feel like it's loud.
It is loud. Okay, thank you. Yeah. And then I definitely want to hear more about the nonprofit work, because I think that serving others connects us into greater mental health for ourselves. But overall, like, talk to me about your approach. What kind of approach will people find in Eat Yourself Sexy and Fresh City Kids recipe book?
Well, for Eat Yourself Sexy, I decided, well, let me just start here, okay, since we're talking about mental health awareness. So I was a teenage mother that went through severe domestic violence and rape, okay? So 9 times out of 10, most people who go through that kind of trauma, it's hard to recover from those things. So when I wrote Eat Yourself Sexy, it was my tool for healing. I wrote this book during my healing process, right? So coming out of that very abusive relationship, being still a teenage mother, I decided that, you know what? One thing, I was going to give myself everything that I wanted someone to give me, especially because it was a crazy breakup, all kinds of stuff. So I said, specifically a man. So I'd buy myself flowers. I'd massage myself. I'd give myself baths. I began to adore myself, because oftentimes when you go through that kind of trauma, not only do you have to shift things so that you are in a good mental state, spiritually and mentally and emotionally. But it's just, for me, I felt like it was important for me to love myself more and to begin to feel worthy of the love that I give, right? And so Eat Yourself Sexy was a part of that, so I wrote the book as a holistic experience, not just teaching you how to eat vegan and raw foods, but understanding that eating vegan and raw foods will help to regenerate the cellular structure, right? Which a lot of the trauma is held in the cells of the body, right? And so when you get brand new cells, well, you release some of that trauma from the body. And of course, I've done other deeper medicine work for this healing, meditation is the cornerstone to my healing. It's a huge foundational piece. But food really helped to shift me. So where I might be, I don't know where I'd be, honestly, if I hadn't changed what I was eating, understood the power of changing my mind. I knew that I could change my mind. All of those things that happened, I didn't have to be burdened by them. I could let them go. I could look at it from another vantage point. I could see it from the bird's eye view, and I could see it with compassion and say, oh, okay, I understand it. Not just compassion for this person, but also understanding karma and all these other components. But back to the book again, because it's a lot, like I said.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I just want to say thank you for being so vulnerable and honest, because I think that a lot of these people who go to your page, go to Queen of Green and follow you and see what you're doing, you're very successful, you're very confident, you're very sexy, and you're out there, and you don't get one ounce of insecurity from any of it. You get real strong energy, power, and I think that this vulnerability is really crucial, because so many of us have been through our own traumas, and to know that you have gone through that, and this is where you're at on the other side of it, that is I think really healing and inspirational for us to hear. So thank you so much for being honest and vulnerable with us about that.
Well, it's my pleasure. God brought me to the other side so that I could be a bridge for those that need to come to the other side, so that people know that it is possible. If you meet me, you would never expect that I've been through all of those things, because I don't wear it on me. you know, because I've released it. And the things and the parts of me that still need healing, I'm kind and gentle with myself about it, you know, because I understand not just this lifetimes, but the many lifetimes that I've experienced that I still need to heal and learn and grow from, you know. So it's an ongoing journey of healing. And, and so I must share my story. I must share this with people so that they have a full spectrum understanding of who I am as a multidimensional being. And so that they understand, because a lot of times if you meet me, if you see me, you're just like, okay, all right, hi. You know, not understanding what it took for me to show up, right? And like I said, what has helped me, you know, across the board is, like I said, food. You know, understanding that we are impacting the food just as much as the food is impacting us, right? So there's so many pieces to healing with food. Understanding that, okay, we need to eat as much organic, fresh fruits and vegetables as possible. We need to understand that there's medicine that grows from our planet that is absolutely so healing for us. So understanding the medicine man and medicine woman within us, right? Because we have the power to not only heal ourselves, but heal our community, locally and globally. And
Okay, so I got to interrupt you right there. You're
yes,
talking
please.
about healing your community, and you actually have a nonprofit organization where it's based out of DC. Is that correct?
We've done work internationally from South Africa, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, to the south side of Chicago, Washington, D.C., Florida, many places. So I've done work across the globe, anywhere people would have me. And yeah, so, but I've done a lot of work in D.C. where I'm from. I did a 6-week summer youth employment program in Washington, D.C. with about 180 youth, which are also the authors of my book. And what's so special about this is that oftentimes people dismiss these youth. They're terrified of these youth. They're like, I'm not going over to Southeast to teach them about cooking no food. I'm not trying to get stabbed or robbed, right? But what you find is that these are the most beautiful, powerful beings on the planet, okay? If you remove your own fear, then you get to see the blessings that are in front of you. And, oh my God, what a transformational experience it was for me and for them. So yes, I not only did they get paid to be in my 6-week program, every day they got an hourly wage, but they also became certified as vegan and raw food chefs, well, you know, mini chefs in my program, so they can go out there and they can get a job with the tools that they learn. They understand what pink Himalayan sea salt is. They understand food combining. They understand the basic knife cuts. They understand the 5 mother sauces. Certain basic things that you need to know that you learn in a professional culinary school, they learn. And they also became authors of their own books. So instead of perhaps going out and selling drugs or doing other things, which is very typical in these high-risk places, they are making money with their book on Amazon, you know. So I wanted to give them an opportunity, and anybody that I work with across the board, I like to give them tools that they could take with them on their journey through life. Whatever happens, whether you become vegan or not, you know these certain things that if someone asks, oh, you know, something as basic as, oh, the amount of minerals that pink Himalayan sea salt has. They know this. You know what I mean? Most people would never know that these children or certain people would know, oh, okay, they know about pink Himalayan sea salt. Oh, you're familiar with cold pressed oils, you know, kind of thing. So for me, again, that's very important. It's very near and dear to my heart. So
that's huge. You know, these are things that even people who are raised in privileged families and privileged homes don't know about.
exactly.
So yeah, so the bridge that, like you mentioned earlier, there's a bridge that you're gapping. There are a few gaps that you're bridging, and and that's definitely one of them. And so what's the name of that book again? Because I want to plug it right now. It's Fresh City Kids Recipe Book.
Yes, the Fresh City Kids Recipe Book.
Excellent. Everyone buy it on Amazon.
Yay.
Yeah, love that. See, that's so cool because there's a little bit of an audio thing going on that's a little weird. I hope everyone can hear clearly.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like kind of echoing or something.
Oh,
I hope it's okay. But I'm loving what you're doing because you've taken your own healing, you've deepened it with yourself, you shared it by becoming a healer, by creating your book and sharing it, but it didn't stop there. You know, you're now empowering other people. One of our mutual friends, Michael Beckwith.
Yes. Godfather. Yes.
Love that man. One of our mutual friends, Michael, one of the things he says that I love is that he's creating leaders, not followers. And I feel like that's something that I see you doing by giving these kids the power to go be, not only for you to be an amazing role model for them and to go spend your time with them and to compensate them for that, but to also really train them in some advanced stuff, like some of these things that you're talking about. I mean, that's huge.
Well, yeah, I'm really grateful. And, you know, a lot of times with these, you know, with nonprofit organizations and things like that, I mean, we got about $80,000 of funding, which was still not enough. I had to, you know, it was just not enough money to get them all chef jackets. I cared enough. I was like, you know, what's interesting is some people are like, don't get them chef's jackets, don't do all, you know. I'm like, they deserve to have chef's jackets and they deserve to have all the tools so that they can feel special, like they can feel like they are professional, you know. That gives them confidence. Just, first of all, the basics is that people just want to feel that you care. And those little small touches let them know that wow, you really care. And so I wanted them to feel that. I wanted them to walk away from the program, not just with tools that they could take with themselves, but also feeling loved and cared for. That's a part of mental health, right? Of people who are suffering from these issues that, you know, where people could call them mentally ill, where they're just off balance and they're dealing with trauma that they don't know how to navigate through, and they don't have a break in the world, right? They don't have a moment to pause, and even if they pause, they don't have the tools typically to even navigate properly through that pause, you know? So for me, I feel like love heals all things. And if you feel loved and cared for, well, that's a start, you know? That's going to do something.
Yeah, and that's so true. And you know what? That's what I felt when I first met you. Oh yeah, someone's saying my audio is feeding back through your speakers. Do you have headphones you could put in?
I do. One moment.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks, Donald, for the tip.
Let's put them in. Let's see if this works. How are we now?
Okay, you know what? That totally did the trick.
Oh, wow. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and you are clear as day. You sound clearer. I'm not feeding back. Okay, cool. We should have started that way. Okay, great. Okay, well, anyway, I want to introduce you guys to... No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to pick it back up where we were just talking. You were talking about how it comes down to people just want to feel loved, you know, and when you have genuine love, that's when you start to think about things like, you know what? I can tell if she puts on that chef jacket, she's going to love it. She's going to feel it. The chef jackets matter, guys, you know, like, and that does come from love, you know, and I want to say that is how you, that's how you came across as soon as I met you when we were meeting together in Costa Rica. And I think I must have met you at lunch or something, at one of the meals, I think. And I saw you and I just felt your brightness. You were forthcoming. You know, some people are like a little more withdrawn. I think I tend to be sort of like, kind of in my own space, you know, but kind of there, you know. But I felt like you were just radiating kindness, you know, and I felt like we were already friends. I was like, oh, she's a safe person. We're in the love zone.
What's so
So yeah, you
interesting is that
definitely
that's
expressed
totally
that.
not what I got from you. I totally got this like vibrant sunshine ray of light. Like I did not get some subdued. Oh, give me a break. I got hi everyone. I'm here. Welcome. I mean, you were just a vibe. I loved you so much. I just thought, wow, what a nice energy. You had just a vibe and a swag about you, and you were very kind and you were very social. Even with the group, whoever you were talking to, you were like giving all the energy. We knew. I was like, oh, who's he? He is like amazing. So yeah, I didn't pick that. It's so interesting that that's what you observed from yourself because it's not what I got at all ever.
Interesting. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, and a couple people are agreeing with you. Apparently, I'm not subtle. Okay,
At
so
all.
well, that's actually great to know because sometimes I feel like, should I be talking to people? You know, I'm teaching this week. Should I be more social? But yeah, that's great. I appreciate that, and I really got that from you though. That's really what I got from you. I was like, wow, she's just so present. That's what it felt like, you know, present, you know. And from a Buddhist perspective, Buddhist compassion is not the same thing as this like sentimental idea. Like there's this concept with like modern Western world where we sort of put like we soften things in a way that's not authentic. Like we
Hmm.
bypass things, and
Hmm.
and compassion and love has become this like this. There's this idea that it's weak or that it's
Hmm.
not powerful or something,
Yeah.
and that compassion is a sentimental kind of fluffy thing. But compassion comes, I think, and from a Buddhist perspective, from a spiritual perspective, compassion comes from the reality, from the recognition that we're part of one thing,
Yes.
that there's part of one whole. And that's what I really felt from you. I was like, we're in this, we're clicked in. Oh yeah, we're doing it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm grateful. Sometimes I'm not aware of myself, like how I'm not aware of how other people are receiving me, because I'm just being, and I'm just being. And um, it's interesting because again, I'm so many different things. So if I'm focused and I'm really in another space, I can come off very serious as well, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Mm-hmm.
you can feel that presence too, and that could be a little intimidating, but it's still love. Like you said, it's not that. It's just being confident in where you are and where what you feel, and it doesn't have to be this inauthentic fluffy experience all the time. If you're feeling fluffy and vibesy and everything, that's amazing, but it's to me it flows. It's a flow that's beyond just trying to stay this like robotic, like super like positive person, you know. You understand what I'm saying, because that's what
Definitely.
like you were
Yeah. I mean,
kind of talking about this inauthentic idea of positivity, which is it real? Do you really feel this way? Like, let's just get down to it.
right. Right. It's just truth, you know. It's like really in the truth of the present moment, you know. And like in the Bible it says there's a time for everything, you know. A time for this and a time for that. You know, there is a time to weep and mourn and there's a time to celebrate, you know.
Yes.
And so there's a time to be like really, really serious. And I think that collectively we need to learn a new thing. And that new thing is being positive and loving and powerful and grounded and organized and strategized and
Yeah.
clear, you know?
Yes.
we gotta
Absolutely.
we got to learn it. We got to learn a new thing. It's not, learning new things is not always easy, but, we learn through trial and error, through doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really activating what's already there,
Hmm.
and unlearning some of the things that have dumbed us down. We've been programmed and conditioned to be, um, let's just say we've just been programmed and conditioned, and many people have been programmed and conditioned in different ways. But it's time for us to begin to let go of those things that are not serving us anymore. Let go of those limiting beliefs. Let go of those things that people told us that we deemed as true when it's not true. Oh, you're ugly, you're not this. Sometimes those things crystallize in our minds and in our beings, and we begin to go out into the world, projecting from that space. And
Hmm.
it's really important that we have a pause and release that, because that's where a lot of the mental illness is coming from the childhood, um, from our childhood. And there being some traumatic experiences, but also programming, what people were teaching us, what we were seeing, and not really fully understanding, not understanding the fullness of it, because our 5-year-old mind was trying to wrap its head around it. And the 5-year-old mind has not healed from that experience. It is still looking at things from that 5-year-old mind.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we have to stop and say, oh, hold on, well, hey, I'm not 5 anymore. So let me just look back at that and say, oh, okay. And then we have a wider, broader perspective of things.
Definitely. And as we age, there's this concept of like, we don't want to age because maybe like our skin or whatever. There's like things that we don't like because, we especially when we're young, we identify so much with the qualities of youth, you know.
Hmm.
But the truth is, I remember when I turned 30, I was like really, really anxious about turning 30. I have to say, the 30s are way better than the 20s.
Okay, let's just get into it. I
Right?
feel that way. The 20s were great. I had an amazing time. I traveled the world, but the
Right?
20s are full of fuck ups. You're just
Hmm.
like left and right trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's fun and exciting, and you get some passes because you're in your 20s, right? But 30s to me are just so much better, more organized, more together, um,
Yeah.
more balanced. you know, I'm enjoying my 30s so much more. I mean,
Hmm.
I won't say so much more, because 20s were freaking amazing. Let's
Yeah.
just be honest. But my
Yeah. It
30s
all
are
is
bomb.
what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But as you go into it, it's like you've got this, every moment's wonderful. Every moment has its lesson for you. I won't say wonderful, sometimes like horrible pain we go through, but the what I'm finding is like as we mature, and from a spiritual perspective, as you mature, there's so much power that you can then more intelligently work with, because you learn things one thing at a time. You got to learn to read before you can study Shakespeare. You got to learn
Yeah,
to count before you can learn calculus. And so
exactly.
you really, really go into that. And so I think like there's and I'm finding more and more, one of my greatest teachers um, was in his 80s. and
Wow.
and that's
Hmm.
when I met him, and he knew what was up, and he
Yeah.
gave me so much. He gave me like such he gave me something that no one else could have ever given me, you know.
They say you need the wisdom from the elders and the energy from the youth in order to shift things. But there's a disconnect between the youth and the elders. The elders have so much to share, but so often they're being forgotten. And it's
Hmm.
so important. I'm so grateful that I have the most amazing elders in my life. Like, first of all, my roommate is 60 plus years old, and her name is Queen Afua. She's a powerful queen and major like influence across the board. You name it. Who I mean, literally Jada Pinkett and so many different people are like, oh my God, we love her. Her book changed my life. And so I am grateful for the elders in my life. They're my favorites. You know, they give me so much knowledge and wisdom, and in exchange, I share my energy with them, and it's just like a perfect um, reciprocity.
Hmm. And you also bridge it so nicely. I think that you not only are you youthful with your own energy, but you take and apply what you learn, and then you even take it to the younger generation. You know, so that's a real gift.
Thank you. You know, I I'm just doing my best and leading with my heart, and yeah, I just understand what it's like not to know and not to have, you know, and to need support. And so I offer that because you know, when I was younger, I wish I had someone to guide me. I wish I had someone to do a 21-day Eat Yourself Sexy journey so that I could transform. I wish I had those things. And so I always believe that you give that which you're longing for, and then you receive it tenfold in ways that you never could have imagined, you know? So
Yes. Well, time is flying by. I love talking with you. I'm so
thank
grateful for,
you.
you brought up such good stuff, and you see things, and I feel like we resonate a lot, but you share things with like new language that I really really value and appreciate. So
Absolutely. Thank you so
you're
much.
so we're all going through a collective challenge right now. The world has begun this major transition. We're not going back to the way things were, no matter how much as many people want to try to say back to normal, back to normal. It's never happening. We say new normal, but basically the way I see it is we're in this moment where if we could become hyper present right now, we can shift larger things.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
just as you had to go through that healing yourself before you took it out into the world, there is something that we can collectively do within ourselves in order to make the social and governmental and political and economic changes collectively, so that we can actually live in a world that we can feel proud of, so that we can actually leave a legacy behind that as a generation we can really be proud of, that's
Absolutely.
worthy of our goodness, that's worthy of who we really are. And so I want to just invite you to share, as we prepare to close, I just want to invite you to share any kind of thoughts or words or tips or anything for those of us who are here listening, receptive, and going through this collective transition and challenge.
What I would say to everyone is to surrender to the love, surrender to what is so, you know, and be in the moment and understand that everything is ultimately in divine order, and that this shift was inevitable. You know, we needed this shift. This is for the greater good. And begin to sit with yourself. And now this is an opportunity to recreate what it is that you are wanting to be and experience in the world. Because if you change internally, then everything around you changes, right? So it starts within. If we all just stopped and looked within and began to correct ourselves, begin to shift our thoughts to higher frequency thoughts, speak higher frequency words, feel, choose to feel, understand that we have the power to choose to feel higher frequency feelings, and eat higher frequency foods, then we will begin to show up in the world in another way, and the world will begin to show up for us and reflecting that, you know? So just understand that the power is within, that we don't have to go anywhere. This is why God is making us sit down, because it's time for us to be still and to know who we truly are. And once we have that knowledge of self, things are which people are starting to come to it, things are shifting uh, drastically, and it needed to, you know, and it's the earth is healing. We have to remember that under these concrete cities, there's a living earth that is longing for a breath of fresh air from and a free release from all of the concrete, and she's going to get it one way or the other. So it's time for us to shift so that things don't get more turbulent. You know, this is an opportunity, this is a wake up call, you know? And so, again, use it as an opportunity, you know, choose to look at this from a higher perspective, choose to look at this from the bird's eye view, and flow with the shifts. Don't try to hold on to those things that are leaving, because you don't want to get left behind. You know, you got to move with the current. Don't fight against it, just flow with it, and know that once you heal yourself, you heal the planet and everything around it.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, that was so good. I'm hugging you.
I'm hugging you.
Oh, thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation half as much as I did, because I just feel so inspired and elated, and I have to go sit down and write. I've got a book due on Monday, so I just
Woo!
feel very blessed and inspired and so grateful for you. So definitely everyone go follow Queen of Green. She's got a ton of amazing stuff. Buy those books, Eat Yourself Sexy Goddess Edition, and Fresh City Kids recipe book.
Yes.
So cool. Love what you're doing. Thank you so much for your time, Lauren. You're the best.
Thank you, Ben. You're the best. Thank you so much for what you do. I love you.
Love you too. Can't wait to see you in person. Give you a real hug.
I know.
Oh, and thanks, Andre and Ansley and Donald and everyone who joined us. See ya. Have a good one.
Bye.